This is Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited today because I have with me a very good friend of mine, Maria Pellas. Welcome to the podcast, Maria. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Robinson. I'm doing great. And I'd like to thank you for giving me the chance to be here in your podcast.
Maria, I think our audience is willing to know a little bit more about yourself. So who is Maria? Where do you come from? How long have you been in Montreal in Canada?
I came here in Montreal in 2009 of summer together with my two kids who are now 21 years old and 15. My son and my daughter. I live in Manila. I work at the data center. I'm always in the infrastructure. I spent more than 10 years of my life in the IT industry before coming here.
But before you got to that point, before you came here, could you tell us a little bit of your life as a kid, as an adolescent in Manila or in your hometown, which I think was not Manila, right?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. It's called Santa Rosa, Laguna. So it's like a 2 hours away from Manila. That's my hometown. And as a kid, we are five in the family. I am the eldest, and as a kid, I was always the hardworking one. My childhood, it's not a very fun one. It's not like the kids like having chocolates, having like Jello and everything. I'm the eldest in the family, so I came from a very poor family. But me as a kid, I always had that vision to finish my school. I don't know like how, but that's my vision.
Who motivated you to have
From
this vision?
from growing up, from being poor, you don't have access to water. I had to we don't have access to water. I have to fetch, being the eldest, I have to fetch like water to drink, to wash laundry, to cook and everything.
Wow.
And you know what, like I realized I can tell you that I have an eidetic memory. So that's the number one. On my early years, like I was in elementary, I had this in me that I'm always in sales. Like I had I had to do things during my studies, like to be able to I need to buy pencil, I need to buy snack, but how do I do that? So I had to do something. I had to do homeworks for other students, so they pay me back with snacks or something. This vision came from being poor. I don't want this, but I can't do anything, so I'm just gonna study. I did good when I was studying in elementary. I did very great. Like I was honor student and all that. I had to walk 5 kilometers going to school.
At what age?
Well, from elementary to during the elementary, sometimes I get to ride. I didn't have shoes. I was walking I had just slipper going to school. I don't have uniform. My other classmate, they had that white and blue, and I don't have that. And I go to school with slipper. But that's fine. That's fine because I really want to finish school. And then when I finished elementary, I went to high school. And then, so that was still Santa Rosa, the 2 hours away from Manila. And I told my dad works in Manila. I told him I want to study. I want to go to university, but there's no good university here. Why don't you help me find something there? Because I've never been to Manila. And I had no idea schools and everything. I was young, I was graduating high school. And then he talked to someone. He goes okay, I know a school right there, so let's go. And then I took again scholarship, but I was too late. It was April, and then June was starting. School is starting in June. And then my dad goes work in the cafeteria. I go I gotta work in the cafeteria, and I don't want to, but then you know what, I had to okay, this is the way for me to get into school because I was too late.
Right.
If you work there, then they're gonna consider you. So I use that. Okay, I'm gonna take it.
So
but
that was
then,
kind of the platform you used to be able to get into school.
Yeah.
Because you were working at the school's cafeteria, correct?
I accepted that. Yeah, I was working at the school because if you were working there, my dad, we went to the school April and the school is starting June. Nobody accepts that, like, if you want to, like right now, like if you want to like enroll, you have to do it like before, like
Correct.
previous year, right? And the only way for me to get in is to be a working student in the school. And there's no opening. And my dad goes like, work at the cafeteria. Okay, I'm gonna work at the cafeteria. Oh my God, it was hard. It was like, because all the students there, it's a big university. The whole day I was working and I go like, okay. And I realized after a semester, okay, I got my grades, 1.5. And then there's the list in the school, there's the board, and I saw my name. What are those? And there's a lot of students. And I go like, what are those? Oh, these are Dean's List. My name is there. What does that mean? Well, you get your tuition fee back. And then if you continue doing this, you don't have to pay your tuition fee. I go like, really?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I go like, okay, I quit the cafeteria. I was a scholar, but still, you know what? Even though like I didn't have to work at the cafeteria, I said like, I still need money, for tuition, for books and everything. So I took a part-time job at the printing company. And then also I work at the school library as well as a library assistant.
So you had two jobs at the same time while you studied?
Exactly. I'm there in the library. I'm working and studying at the same time, So that was it. But my program, okay, like in university, I took commercial science, Bachelor of Commercial Science, okay? And back then, like, they're starting computers. And then I major in computer science.
Excellent.
And on my last year in the university, I was lacking two. My major subject in management and computer. I went to the other university. Yeah. I went to the other university. Same thing also. I worked there, to pay the courses.
So you were basically a full-time working student throughout your university time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so you major in computer science and then you went to work.
Okay, I finished Bachelor of Commercial Science, major in Computer Science. My first job after graduation right away was in sales.
Exactly what you had been thinking since you were a kid.
I know. I think like I was really, like it's in my blood. I had to sell encyclopedia.
I remember, yeah, that was a big thing back then.
Encyclopedia, it was a big thing back then. I made tons of money right there, but I stayed only for 6 months because I wanted to get into the government program.
Were you able to get into the government program?
Yeah, I got into the program, but I still didn't work at the government.
So you got in, but you decided not to pursue a career in the government.
Yeah. So the second job, actually the actual job that I took after the sales, I went to the bank.
And you were there until you came to Canada, correct?
Yeah, but it's a second bank. Yeah.
And the second bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on my first job, which I actually stayed there for 10 years, it was a local bank. Then 2 years and then after that, I resigned and moved to an international bank. So I spent 2 years there. Then I moved here.
Okay, so you were working at a bank for 10 years and you moved on and worked for another bank for 2 years. What awoke you the interest to move to Canada? Why coming to Canada?
Okay.
Was that a dream? Did you have any friends who had already moved to Canada? I mean, why Canada?
Why did we move here? I was thinking of my kids. Because I want them to, in the Philippines, they were already studying. I had to send them to exclusive school to have access to the good education, like better, education. But to be able for you to do that, it's expensive, like ridiculously expensive, and and you will just spend all your money and just like to the kids' education. So what about the other aspects? What about providing them house, for having like, activities and everything else?
Safety and security, right? Everything.
Yeah, everything goes to education, but then you still have to like eat and you still have to provide home. So I go like, okay, Canada, they have like at least, good access to education, because back there, public and private school are totally different. Totally different. Here, like public school, no problem, right? Right
And
there.
I think that's really the case with most of us immigrants. If we
Yeah.
compare our education, our public education versus the private education, it's the same thing, just that you're saying. I think, again, it's the experience that we have in our home countries. Private school is so expensive, and it's only for a few. And as you said,
Yes.
the difference is huge.
Correct.
I mean, in my case, I was studying at night. When I got to the university, it was like these kids who went to very nice schools paying a lot of money.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say that they were smarter than I was, but they had seen a lot more material than I had.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing.
All these things we agree on. Coming to Canada provides better education, security, a better future, most probably. How did you come to Canada? Was it through the skilled workers program? Did you come as a student, as a refugee? What was your process
Okay.
to leave the Philippines and come to Canada?
Okay. So my husband, actually, he already came here like 5 years before we came. Okay. He was, he was also under the skilled worker program, and then he got his permanent residency, and then he sponsored us. So that's where we came in. That's how that was the process for us. So we landed here as an immigrant already, me and my 2 kids. So
And how long did it take you to find your first job here in Canada?
I thought of it first, number one. So we came in here, we landed as a immigrant, and then it was summertime. And I thought of like, should I work right away? How is Canada? What is Canada? Like, how do I work here? What do I do here?
How do I integrate? Right?
How do I integrate myself here and my kids? Okay, and then I realized, okay, like this is Montreal. People speak French.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So people speak French. Okay, so I need to learn another language. It's not mandatory. Yes, you can find a job like without learning French, but if you want to integrate yourself, you want to practice what you were doing from your country of origin to be able to like work the same, you need to number one, learn the language.
So to have better opportunities in Quebec, mainly Montreal, you need to be able to be bilingual.
Yes, definitely. That's like what I learned. So basically, thing for me is planning, learning, and then planning. Okay, so that was summertime. So right away I contacted Emploi Quebec. And then I met with them in person, the agent, and then they told me about the schedule and everything. So they said like, okay, in November, you're going to be starting in a CJEP. You will take this course. This is like this is a 9-month course. It's 3 modules and so on. And then finally, like, I did that. So from the moment we came here, July to November, I spent time with my kids. We get around, took them to the parks, and it was actually I planned that.
And so you went to French classes and all this, and then you had the opportunity to work for?
I made my CV. Okay, I submitted to one of the banks here, which for sure you all know. They interviewed me and they said, well, number one, you don't have the Canadian experience. Secondly, we need fluent French, so they didn't hire me because the position, first of all, also the position that I was applying for was a customer service. So mainly talking to people, which is like really, I understand them that, you need to be very fluent, right?
Right.
Okay. Second, I have to go back. That was customer service. Wait a second. I have another experience. I am experienced in IT.
Right.
So I thought of this aerospace industry, which is, very popular here in Canada,
Right.
of course in Quebec. And then I sent my application as a technical support analyst back then in summertime. And
Summertime
then
2010 at this
no,
time.
2010. Yeah, exactly. So because like I finished my course in 2010 summer, so I sent my application and the rest is history. That was my first job. And I'm so proud to tell you that I only submitted two CV. One is the bank and second is the aerospace industry. But I'm telling you that I chose, I just don't like to work anywhere.
You planned, you chose, and as you said, the rest is history because still today you are there, right?
Well, I'm still an IT analyst. Okay, so right now, let's go back to the present. I'm still with IT. I'm still an IT analyst, but I'm no longer in the aerospace industry. I'm working for another IT company. It's a networks that is actually servicing more than 100 clients across Canada. And on top of that, I am also a licensed securities advisor.
So
I
you're
am.
a financial advisor.
Yes, yes, yes. Because like I
And what do
said,
you
when
like
I
so much about advising people in finance?
why I fell in love with financial education is that remember why we came here. Why we left our country and our support system, our family and everybody. Um, Here this is a new country. Like number one is you have to learn, you have to educate yourself financially so that you can apply it here so that you progress. You came here not for your life to be backwards. You came here so that your life you go forward. You
Right,
go like
correct.
achieve your goals.
That you have a better life.
You have a better life, but first you have to educate. You have to look at the financial aspect as well. You have to financially educate yourself. And for me, that's become my vision. That's becomes my mission. I wanted to share this experience first of all, that going to this institution, they will not spend that much time. Don't blame them because they also have like so much client. But for me, it's like now that I know all this information, I wanted to share because I want people to open their minds. Like there's so much information, there's so much things that you will benefit and your children, your family that is actually it's out there. But
And that we just ignore because no one comes to us and teaches us those things, correct?
exactly.
And I agree with you. People who work at banks, they have an agenda. They have certain things that they have to do and sell. And from my experience, they do not know in reality how to advise people. It's counterproductive to tell people, our audience of this podcast, that people who work at banks cannot advise them. But it's the reality. They have an agenda. They're not really specialists. They have to sell what the bank has. And they don't really care that much whether you learn about financing or not. They have to sell what they have. And
exactly,
in reality, they do not have all the products that we really need. But because
exactly.
we are illiterate in finance, we end up getting whatever they offer. So it's very exciting to know that you are helping people in finance, in personal finance, to change their mindset. And especially for us immigrants, we come from countries where we don't know anything about personal finance, right? We just know that we get paid, it goes to a checking or savings account, and then we take money and we spend it to pay our bills and just to live our lives. So now we come here to a very structured system and we go like, okay, there are so many instruments, so many options, savings for this, savings for that. And as you said, the more I learn about it, the better my life is going to be in the future, which is and was our goal when we decided to come to Canada.
Correct.
So I'm very happy that you are in that field, and I know that you're helping a lot of people. And now, Maria, just to kind of come to an end here, as an immigrant, based on your experience, your story, what are your recommendations, your advices for people who are thinking to come to Canada, or already those who are here but are still a little bit lost in what to do or how to do it?
Well, for those people that who are aspiring to come to Canada, Canada is a great country. There's a lot of opportunities, but like, learn, look at the websites, look at the government websites, all the processes and everything, And then for those people that are who just came here or who have been here for like, few years and they are still having a hard time or like, integrating themselves. Number one is quitting is not an option. Okay. It is not an option. You are already here. You are blessed to be here. People, thousands and thousands of people wants to be here. So if it is hard. Yeah, definitely. I can guarantee you that it is hard, especially when you are in Montreal. That's extra, that's plus. But quitting is not an option, okay? You have to like improve yourself. If you need to study another French, if you need to study IT, if you want to be, if you need to be if you want to be on another field, that study, and just keep on improving yourself, and that's like, but number one is like quitting is not an option. Okay. And also, of course, like you're here in Canada, take care of yourself, physically, emotionally, financially, learn all the, we have so many access, to information, learn, keep on improve yourself in your skills. Life is actually a learning process, it's we don't stop learning, so
and then also come to experts like you in your field. Right? And we're going to make sure that in the description we add your details where people can follow you.
Thank you so
where
much.
people can find you. I don't know, I guess it's going to be Facebook, Instagram. Again,
Yeah,
we're going to make sure that we put it below in the description.
Mm-hmm.
So that if anyone can or wants to reach out to you, then it doesn't have to be Filipinos, right? It can be anybody.
No. We live in Canada. We are diversified, we are, so it does, anyone can come to me. And thank you so much, Robinson, for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit of my story. And then I'd love to like, hear from, I'm here. And like you said, all my contacts and everything will be on the description. They can contact me.
Perfect. Thank you very much for being a part of this Immigrant podcast. And
thank you
we
so
look
much.
forward to having you in the show in the future again.
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. And all the best for you, Robinson, for your for your endeavors. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Maria. Until next time.
This was Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.